Okay, so let's have a look at these nightmares. And, in a way, it's a funny thing, isn't it? A nightmare starts, you kind of want it to end. But in this case, when you're considering about a vision of the future and you're thinking about how it could go wrong, you almost want that nightmare to get even worse. So Furkan, I've been talking with him here, he's got some ways to amplify and make these nightmares even more nightmarish. And that sort of seems like we're ending on a downer, but don't worry. The final nightmare that we're going to look at involves one of my characters who's the bioconservative, and his version of a nightmare is when everything goes great. So kind of like, remember, he's the depressed bioconservative, Winston, who thinks it's all going to be bad and it's going to be terrible, it's going to destroy our humanity. No, none of that happens. So that's his nightmare. So what would a nightmare for Olin be? Well, Olin's a guy who's really excited. I mean, no surprise, he's kind of a fan of Elon Musk, and he wants to get tech into our heads ASAP. And he's excited about the possibilities. So if you look at all of the things, you look at smartphones, the device that we're filming on, and the digital technologies that make that wonder of technology possible are subject to rapid exponential improvement. And that explains why this device that Furkan's holding is so much more powerful than the advice he or his dad would have been holding 10 years ago. Not just a little bit better, but so what happens when you put exponentially improving technologies into people's heads? Well, here's a nightmare, and you can sort of present to people like Olin, and they're the transhumanists, they're around, they do, we can put these texts into our heads and then just become radically enhanced super fast. Is what happens in a society in which some people get access to that and other people don't. So I guess there's a worry about, one of the things that we worry about in Aotearoa right now is division in wealth. We worry that, it's different to be wealthy in New Zealand right now from it is to be poor. Well, what happens if we build that difference into ourselves, our very natures, with enhancement technologies? So I guess there's two ways this could happen. So I guess your nightmare, you want to say enough to understand how it could be a nightmare and how it's worth considering. Well, one is that, there's a story you get about digital technologies that in the end they're so cheap that they're free for everyone. But I guess that's not the way it's necessarily turned out, isn't it? I mean, lots of digital stuff, even you say, don't worry, you can make copy after copy after copy. The first one costs a lot to make, and that the second copy of a digital good, in fact the billionth copy of a digital good, basically free. Well, that's not the way most people experience digital goods, is that you sort of, in a way, if you don't have enough money, you either don't get access to many of these digital goods, or you get access to something that's crappier. So, and another thing is, I don't know, what happens if these digital technologies are going in your head? So you could be too poor, because, surprisingly, they don't turn out to be free. The other possibility is that, I don't know, maybe you or your parents have a religious objection to them. And so you don't get access to the technology. And so what happens? Are we building a society where humanity turns into the enhanced and the left behind? And how are they going to treat us if they view us as, animals? So Furkan, I think, will have something to say about that.
Yes, I definitely have. Hello guys, thanks Nick for filming me to give my opinion. So to think about this nightmare from a different perspective is to think about in today's world. So in today's world, imagine someone who does not have access to internet or a mobile phone. So we would know that this person wouldn't function as good as the other ones that already has this technological goods. So imagine in the future where everyone has a chip in their brain, which makes them thinking fast, running fast, maybe feeling less pain, just turning down the stress when they're too stressed. So of course those people are gonna be a lot better doing everything. And when you are poor and don't have money, you'll just not be enhanced. You'll just be a normal human being, and you will realize that you're not able to apply for some jobs anymore, or you realize that you will not keep up with the conversation that enhanced people are having. So what's going to happen is that as nightmare goes, there are going to be two different species within human beings: enhanced ones and normal ones.
So, let me just pass that back to Furkan there, and just say that the great thing about that story is that he's adding kind of human depth to it. So he's in a way asking you as a human being. He's not just saying, "Oh, by the way, it'll all turn out great." I mean, Olin would say that it's all going to be fine. Yeah, no, we're not going to treat people badly, because why would we? Well, yeah, how can you be so sure? He's asking you. I mean, you've already had experience about what it's like to be in a society in which there's inequality. What would it be like to grow up on the bottom end of a society where that inequality is truly massive? In fact, where people look at you and say, I'm not even sure that you're a member of my species. I mean, are you food?
If the inequality is something that is attached to my body, I would be more depressed if I was a person who's coming from a lower class.
Okay, well, let's have a look at two more nightmares, and Furkan's got his own nightmare that he's going to reveal in rich detail, but we'll have a look at our own at two more nightmares next video.
See you in the next video, guys.